Well, hello everyone. This is Jessie Bowen with Elite Publications. Everyone has a story. You just have to get it out. This is our podcast, Become an Author podcast, and we're really super excited today that we launched about a week ago. An author. We have Grandmaster Brandan Wilson here with us. He's a martial artist. And his new book, it's his second book, is out. And the difference is with this book, he is now a international best-selling author. So we are super excited about that. And we wanted to share this with the community, the martial arts community, the world, and how you can become an author. You know, your story is valuable. And the value is when enough people read it. And when you write a story and you publish that story and people, they buy it online, they go to the bookstore, it's available all over the world, then you can make a difference. And so that is a really key point behind our Become an Author podcast, is to share how you can become an author and how you can make a difference in the world through your story. So we're going to get started today with our interview, and I'm always excited. This is the fourth interview I've done this month in the past 30 days of people that we've helped to become international best-selling authors, not just writing their book, not just publishing their book, but the ability to be able to market their books to the world so people around the world can know about their message and how their message is making a difference. If you want information on Elite Publications, our website is www.elitepublications.org. Hello, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, sir. And how are you?
Better and better. You know what I mean? Trying to make the world a better place, trying to make the world a better place. I want to say congratulations. We have not shared your results with you. I know you had texted yesterday. You said, well, I see that we're #1 bestseller, and I think it was a martial arts category and a Taekwondo category. But we've actually done much more than that over the past week. And so we want to let you know what's happening and how you can, let your family and friends know that, they can get the book, get you to sign it. So, this is a great opportunity. And again, we're always excited, for our authors. So, tell us a little bit. Now, again, everyone, you can go to his website and get a copy of his book. Now, if you go to his website and get a copy, he will sign the book and send it to you. You can also purchase the book on Amazon. You can get it in the Kindle, soft copy, soft cover, hardcover. So if you want to go to his website and get a copy and have him to sign it and send it to you, go to BrandanWilsonWrites.com, and you can actually order a copy from his website. And it's nothing like having a signed copy, because I know with Grandmaster Wilson, he's got another book already planned on going out. So he's going to be doing a lot of things. And when you get a signed copy of a book, it just grows in value. Now, if you want the book in a couple of days, then remember, go to Amazon, and on Amazon, you can get the soft cover, the hard cover, or you can actually get the digital, and you'll have that within the next 2 to 3 days. So, that's the way the service runs. We have it very quickly. So, sir, let's get into just a moment and let's talk about your adventure, because that's where everyone, they want to start. Well, you wrote a book. I could write a book, but I don't know what to write a book on. So what got you motivated to this? Again, this is your second book. So what motivated you to write a book, a nonfiction book, where most people think, well, I just they don't know where to get started. What motivated you to get started, sir?
Well, Hanshi Bowen, first of all, thank you for having me on this program. I consider it a real honor that you brought me on here and that you have decided to be my publisher. My first feeling, which I think I need to express before I answer your question, is my gratefulness to all the people that helped contribute to the book being a success. That's you and your team at Elite Publications. Of course, yourself, Jessica Phillips, who is the director of marketing, Crystal Harvey, who did all this editing and graphic design and worked on the web page. Jeremy Ashmore, who's an independent graphic artist who actually did the artwork for the cover. They did a great job, and I really appreciate that. I've also had support from my wife, Kay, who is referred to as Mad Dog Kay. If you read the dedication, there's a good story behind that if we ever have time. I also got some additional help from friends. A friend of mine, fellow martial artist Dennis Callanan, I sent him a copy of the book and said, "What do you think?" And he started writing back. It took him weeks, but all kinds of good editing. I'd also like to thank the family of a very dear friend, late Colonel Jay Chambers, who I named one of the main characters after. Jay and I grew up together. When my parents died, his parents took me in. We went into the Army together. We both had full careers. Unfortunately, he died as a result of an injury he received in the first Gulf War. But in his memory, I had named, with the permission of his widow, Carol Chambers, I named the main character after him because he was an inspiration to me. And they've been very gracious in allowing me to do that. And I just had great support. My son, who is a historian, helped me with the parts of the novel that dealt with Mongolian history. My daughter, who's a physician, helped me with the parts on alien medical treatment. So I don't know. I don't think she approved of all of it, but I did get her opinion, and I'm just very grateful for that. Your question, sir, had to do with what got me to writing it. So the first book I started to write in Baghdad. I was sleeping in a bunker. We got woken up with this announcement, incoming fire, take cover. And there was a thump, thump in the distance. And I got up and wrote the first chapter of the book based on somebody waking up in his starship and hearing that thump, thump and knowing that something was wrong. And I didn't really have a plan for the book. The book kind of wrote itself. The characters sort of developed. But that got me going. That actually took me about 10 years. So when I retired for medical reasons in 2018, I decided to finish the book and get it out there, and we were able to do that. But there was a promise to myself and to my family to finish the trilogy. I finished law school when I was 63 years old and decided that I was going to finish this trilogy. So that's what I did. I started writing it, got it done, lots of sacrifices on my family and my wife having to put up with me, but she's given me great support and advice and editing and patience. So we did get it out, and we're really happy to have done that. And I appreciate everything that you've done for us and your family and your company. Just couldn't ask for better, for sure.
Well, you said a couple things that I think is really important, because when you are writing and you have support and you are clear with your vision, and you mentioned your son who gave you contributions to it, you mentioned your daughter, you mentioned your wife, and so there's a whole team around the support of bringing something like this together. I can write as an individual, but my wife takes a look at what I'm writing, and Jessica looks at what I'm writing, then I send it off to a few friends, and that's really important. So everyone has an idea, they have a fantasy that's running through their head, and how do you put that in words that now it's like with your program, the next phase could be having this turning into a movie, because you've got all the elements in there. You have the martial arts side, and from the martial arts side, we had Grandmaster Bill Wallace endorsed the book. Grandmaster Cynthia Rothrock wrote the foreword for the book. So you had a lot of support from the community on an idea. And when you have that, and I don't think I have you may have your copy of the book on your desk. I don't have it. I don't see it on mine. So you can hold up a copy of it. But you talked about the graphics, the beauty of the book. So most people, when they go and they're looking at books and they look at the cover, they start there to determine on whether or not they really want to pick up the book and read it. And I think that the graphics on your cover, all those things turned out well. So when you have the idea, you have the beginning of the writing, you have now, of course, the editing, you got the graphics, you have now the launch of the book, which we just finished. So we're now in the next phase, and that next phase is really the future of the book and the trilogy that you're writing as you're getting ready for the third book. So everyone, again, if you're just tuning in, I'm Jessie Bowen with Elite Publications. We have one of our authors here today. We're actually announcing the results of his book. It launched last week. We spent a lot of time marketing the book around the world, not just in one place, in one city, but around the world. And this is Grandmaster Brandan Wilson. And again, his book is an international bestseller. So we're going to go ahead and we won't make you wait anymore. So as I said before, everyone, he has not, we have not given him the results on the book. Well, all we've been doing is working, and he's been waiting to see the results of it. Now, when someone launches a book and it becomes a bestseller, that could be just in the U.S., and that can be just one category. Now, Amazon launches over 4,000 Kindles, every week. So that's a lot of books hitting the market. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands of books in different genres, different categories. So if you don't have the right marketing concept, then you launch your book and it just falls to the bottom. And it's just in those countless numbers. But when you now have a professional marketing team, the goal is that your book doesn't start at the bottom. Is how can we get your book to the top of the ladder? Now, so you have books that are in the US, you have the UK, you have Canada, and you have Australia. Those are, the English speaking and the UK countries that we try to market the book to. So Grandmaster Wilson's book didn't just hit bestseller in the US, it actually hit in total of 4 countries. So, hey, Jess, are you ready? Can we get a little celebration going on? As we're looking at, thank you, Jess. Okay, as we're looking at the results from his book, so hot new releases. So when something comes out and people are buying it, so Amazon rates it as this hot new release based upon how it's selling. So in hot new releases, you receive number 1 in 14 different categories. Those are achievements. And you had 5 hot new releases in the US, 3 in Australia, UK we had 3, and Canada we had 3. In the US, in the bestseller categories, we had 16 achievements. So in the US, we have 8 number 1 bestsellers. In Australia, we had 2. In the UK, we had 2, and in Canada, we had 4, and we have a total achievements of over 30 different categories that your book hit number 1 in. So again, Grandmaster Wilson, congratulations, and we hope that you realize now that the idea that you put into action, that action turned to become a book, and that book became an international bestseller. And so your book now is getting exposure around the world. All right.
All right.
So how do you feel?
Well, I'm very gratified and very, as I said, very grateful. You had mentioned Bill Superfoot Wallace and Cynthia Rothrock. They are two of my heroes. I remember a few years ago, I got interviewed for the first book on one of the martial arts podcasts. And as I looked them up, I realized that Cynthia Rothrock had been interviewed by them. And I was like hugely honored that I got on the same show as her. Um, and then when we were at the awards dinner in Atlantic City earlier in the year, you were kind enough to introduce me and my wife to Miss Rothrock, and she was very gracious. We proposed for that she would write the forward, and she said, "Send me a synopsis." So we did that, and she was very kind to have written that. It meant a great deal to me because she's a real hero. She's the queen of martial arts cinema. I just wanted to read you one thing that she wrote in the forward that mattered a
Okay.
lot to me because the main character of the book is a woman, and I've trained women in martial arts and self-defense for 5 decades now. She wrote, "The adventures of Captain Mei Ling Lee will ring true to any woman who has had to fight for her place in life or her chosen profession." And to me, that meant a lot because coming from her, who has obviously had to do that herself, to have been a Hall of Famer 40 years ago and still hanging in there, still making movies, still doing great stuff. And for her to take the time to have written that and to allow it to be published shows that she has a very gracious nature. And I'm really, really grateful for that. Bill Superfoot Wallace, I mean, come on now, he's the biggest hero in kickboxing history. 23 professional full contact matches, never lost. And he wrote that in my 23 professional full contact matches, I experienced what it feels like to be exhausted and overmatched in the ring. I never lost and I never gave up. Mei Ling brings the reader to that moment where the fighter decides to keep going or succumb. And to me, that was great praise because that's really what I wanted to do. One of the things I wanted to show is what it's like when you are really down and out and you have nothing left and you will not give up and you'll keep going. And I put Mei Ling in that position time and time again, and she always comes through for us. She's not a superhero. She's just a regular person. She has all the same flaws that the rest of us have, but she has that indomitable spirit, which I think we all seek to promote and achieve in the martial arts.
Well, I see your book as an adventure book. I see it as a motivational book, and I see it as a book that the reader can, use their imagination and be able to put themselves, in that situation. And we all go through tough times, but being able to be in situations and be the victor, because we can all write our story. How do we want our story to be in? How do we want to be? And I know that you said she's not a superhero, but in our own mind, we can become that superhero. Everybody fantasizes. Everybody's got some form of story or program that's running in their brain. So to be able to take that idea and be able to turn it into knowledge. And, I saw a commercial back here a few weeks ago, and it was actually about equity, or I think it was about an insurance company. They were saying, well, it was about a home equity that you could use, your home equity, if you're older, you could use that. And, the little guy, down in the ground like he's in a mine and digging, and he says, "You're sitting on a gold mine." So that's the way your stories are. You're sitting on a gold mine because your story could actually advance someone else's life, that could give them hope, whether it's a motivation book, a Christian book, a business book, a fiction, nonfiction book. Your story could make a difference in the world. And that's what we want to do as authors, is be able to do that. And this is what Elite Publications, this is what we specialize in, is helping authors to discover their story and for them to be able to move forward. So everyone, this is a great book, and congratulations, sir. So remember, everyone, if you want to get a signed copy of this book, you can go to BrandanWilsonWrites.com bowen.com. And you can also go to Amazon. So if you go to his website, he's going to personally sign a copy of this book for you and then mail it to you. So remember, when you get signed copies of a book, that is very valuable. This is his second book. So you can go to his website and get both books, or you can go to Amazon and get both books. If you go to Amazon, you have it in the Kindle. You can download it and have it in a matter of seconds. And you can also have the hardcover and you have the paperback cover. And so it looks like if you order this book today, you should be able to have it in your hands within 2 to 3 days if you're ordering, from Amazon. So, sir, if my final question to you is, what's your takeaway? What would you say, to those people? You've had this experience one time, you've now had it twice, and you're now planning to write your third book in this trilogy series. What would you say to someone that's been thinking about it, but maybe they haven't taken the courage or making the step to go forth and write a book?
But it's a really good question, sir. When I got stuck, as every author does, somewhere around page 200 this last year, my wife gave me some good advice. She said, just write it. We could always fix it later. If you don't write something down, we don't have anything to fix. And don't worry if it's perfect. Just get it down. And sometimes you just have to do, just like in the martial arts, when you're struggling through it, you just have to pick up and get yourself to do it. So my only advice is, take up a pen or a computer or a typewriter and start writing down what you want. And it'll take its shape. You can fix it later. Mei-Ling Lee, when I first started writing, she wasn't the main character. She wasn't even in the novel. She just popped up and there she was. And I ran with it. Not everybody writes like that. That's the way I write. What I like to do with my characters is to put them in difficult situations that I don't know how they're going to get out of it. And somehow or another, we work it out. So there's a scene in the book where they've got a missile inbound. They're trying to get out of it. They're trying to get to their jump point so they can avoid it. And I had no idea how they were going to do that. If you want to know, you'll have to read the book.
That's exactly right. Now, we're not going to give it all away today. You got to buy a copy of the book. Remember, get it signed. And, everyone, I've written over 40 books, and I write from whatever's going on in my life. I have one book that's coming out, and I'm a minister, and this book is titled Don't Procrastinate on God, the Millionaire Mindset. And really, so what are you dealing with? I've had the overwhelm with so many things in the past few years and dealing with procrastination. So I'm making myself better and more organized, and I'm taking these notes. So as I'm fixing myself, then this is great information for someone else to have just on something as simple as procrastination. Maybe you're a great goal setter. No matter where you feel that you have your greatness, is set up a session with Elite Publications, and you can visit our website, www.elitepublications.org. Set up a time, and we would love to sit down and, discover your story, to find out, what's that story, because you could be the person that changes the world with an outstanding book. So remember, everyone has a story. You just have to get it out. And again, sir, congratulations. We look forward for your next book coming up. I know you got interviews already set up coming up for you. You got a lot of stuff going on. But I'm going to give you the last word. Is there anything that you want to say before we wrap up?
Well, first of all, I'd just like to, so you would mention to your potential audience that they might want to write a book and contact you. My experience with you guys has been great. Your guys are, first of all, you're very, very active and aggressive. You got a plan. We're going to do this, right? Don't sign on with Jessie Bowen unless you want it done. Jessica Phillips is amazing. She's put up with my constant emails and questions and what about this and what about that, and normally responds to me within an hour, sometimes less than that, never more than that. she's telling me I need to get my act together, send her the photographs, do this, do that. Same thing with Crystal Harvey. She's absolutely amazing. So I couldn't have asked for better as far as the support goes. Everybody has their own preference, but if you want to get this done, then you couldn't do better. And of course, you were so gracious to us. We came out to the dinner in Atlantic City. Not no one was there. You had us at your table. You introduced us to some of the famous martial artists in a very gracious and polite and poised way, so that we had a great time, and we're very grateful for that. So I just hope your audience listens to that, because you deserve the credit. Thank you.
Well, sir, we do appreciate it. So everyone, remember, if you have a question or you need support, okay, reach out to Elite Publications. That's www.elitepublications.org. Remember, Grandmaster Brandan Wilson, his new book is now an international bestseller. Get a copy so you can find out why this book went around the world and people are purchasing it. And again, really great reviews coming back on the book. So get your copy. Hey, this is Jessie Bowen with Elite Publications. Remember, everyone has a story. You just have to get it out.